Nation, welcome to another episode of the Raider Nation's Weekly Wire. As you can see, I'm not in my usual home because my home is being demolished at the moment. My man cave / workshop got termites and, has a lot of other problems. So it's being worked out right now. So right now I'm in my wife's she shed. So I thank her for allowing me to use her space. But anyway, let's welcome my friend, my brother, the guy that's making the Love Boat a reality, Chris from Protect the Shield. Chris, welcome, brother. Nice to see you again. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Let us know how everything went, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, no, it was all good, man. I'm glad to be back, man. And honestly, I kind of like your background, man. The colors bring out your eyes, man. Brings out the beautiful guys. But no, man,
not enough silver and black for me.
I know, man. I know. But honestly, it's okay. You're probably more peaceful there. The
it
silver and black nowadays.
Smells nicer.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, everything's good my way, man. Yeah, I had a very good vacation, man. Got another one coming up in a few weeks. So, it's good to kind of relax, get my feet in some sand. I'm a Midwest boy. So, anytime I could be on a beach somewhere with my belly out, I'm going to take advantage of it, man.
Hey, man, you do what you need to do because you very well deserve it.
Appreciate it, man.
Outside of the Raider Nation, I know you work hard on your daily life and, family and everything. So whenever you can take that opportunity, and especially if they're kicking it down to you for free, hey.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the budget.
It's in the budget. Free
yes,
99,
sir.
Baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, Raider Nation, this week, we're going to talk about our previous game against the Titans and obviously our future game against KC. This past week, obviously, we all went in to the week, at least some of us, thinking that it was going to be a win. I'm not going to lie, being that we were on a 4-week skid, I wasn't too confident as many individuals were, because usually these are the games that we lose, because what I don't know if you'd call this a trap game because, you think, oh, this team sucks. So, our team goes in overconfident and we just, shit the bed. So, but unfortunately we pulled it out. Wasn't very, very, very pretty other than the defense, obviously. But Chris, let us know, what did you think? What did you see good about our team against the Titans?
So for one, going into the game, I felt that we should win just because the Titans just really don't, they have no weapons. They got a young rookie quarterback. Their line's not good. I mean, they just don't have much going on right now. So in my mind, I'm like, we should win. Mm-hmm. However, I'm like, but the Raiders are going to make it harder than it needs to be. That's just what we do. But just watching the game, I liked a lot that I saw from the defense. But again, we're playing a team that doesn't have no real threats at receiver. Their one receiver that they do have, he got hurt early.
He got hurt, right.
And the running back's not really nothing to be afraid of. Again, a rookie quarterback. There's times you can switch some things up, switch some looks up to make it a little rough for him. And that's what we did. So, I really love what I saw from that standpoint. The offensive side of the ball, it's a lot of the, it's more of the same. We did end up winning. We did have some plays, but I'm still not a fan of the play calling, not a fan of the formations that we do, just kind of the overall scheme. It was good enough to beat the Titans, but I think, once, and I think we'll see on Sunday, once we start playing some better teams, and we're about to go on a little run where we're going to play some tough defenses and some better teams. So it's going to be interesting to see if, what our offense can do.
Yeah, most definitely, because I definitely do commend our defense last week, even though it's kind of like playing defense against your little brother.
Right. That is so right. Yeah.
So yeah. It's kind of like, there could be a possibility that your little brother can beat you, but because of your size, because of your little brother's size, it more than likely you're going to win, but there is that possibility. That was my mindset in this game.
Yeah.
But yes, I did see some positives again. The defense did look well. Ashton, is kind of getting his feet under him, is starting to get more confidence. His what do they call the stands? The Michael Myers.
The Michael Myers, yeah.
So there are definitely some positives, but for some reason, I left this game, and yes, I was happy that they won, but it just didn't feel like a joyous occasion. It's kind of like I felt like I took candy from a kid. it's kind of like, yeah, I got what I wanted, but it didn't feel right. Like it wasn't done the right way. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, and that's what I was mentioning.
No, I get you. No, it's one of those things, and the thing is, I think because you are a level-headed fan that kind of understands what we're working with, so you're not going to get yourself too high, and you're not going to let yourself get too low. So,
right.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it, because a lot of fans, of course, we need to be happy about any victory in the NFL, because a win's a win.
Yes,
a win's a win. But the thing is, don't be surprised if we don't win another game for the rest of the year. And I hate to say it, because we're going to play some good I mean, the Browns might be one, week 12 we may look at, but they got probably like the best defense in the league. But yeah, the Giants are looking better, but there's no more Tennessee Titans on our schedule, unfortunately.
Even Jacksonville's looking good.
Oh my God, yeah. No, for sure. No, Jacksonville is competing. They're in the mix, man. When you really look at the schedule, realist fans will say, hey, maybe the Browns, maybe the Giants, but the Giants are playing very inspired ball. That they got their quarterback of the future. They got a tempo setter, in the backfield.
Right.
In Scatterboot, like they got some, their offense or their defensive line is probably the best defensive line in the league. So, even these teams that don't look that good on paper, they're performing when needed. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it's scary because a lot of these teams that were the ones that considered our wins are actually showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way I see, at least in my eyes, I see a possibility of wins is if this game against the Titans is the turnaround point for the Raiders.
Yeah, like
if at this point something clicks and we start our winning ways, because there have been teams in the past that have done that. That have stank it up the first quarter of the season, and then they just turn it around and end the season pretty strong. And that's what I'm hoping at this point. Yeah. Am I expecting that? Of course not.
Yeah, and the thing is. No, for sure. Because the thing is, a lot of times when you start going on these losing streaks, the morale starts getting bad. And it really got bad, but luckily, we played the Titans when we played them, because you're hearing about these player only meetings and Max ripping into people, which I love hearing that stuff, because you got to get, you got to get those guys inspired. But, there's different reports and you don't know whether they're true or not, but seemed like there's some turmoil within the locker room, whether it's between the coaches and players, guys, being cut, and there's all kinds of stuff. Right. And it goes back, even Amari Cooper out there, he gets in the locker room, he don't want to play no more. I mean, it's just guys don't want to play for us. And why? I think we need to get to the root cause, but and
actually, I think you and Severe actually had mentioned this in the past, where why would teams want to come here if they're not treated with respect, if they're not paid properly, and and they're not treated the way they're supposed to? No one's going to want to come to a team like that.
No.
And they showed it with like right now with I don't know the situation with Jacoby Myers, but his situation with Amari Cooper. If everybody that's been in our team that's been a free agent, that's been picked up, it's always some issue occurring that just makes us look bad, even though if it's maybe not our fault, but the visual is still negative.
Right.
So who are we gonna attract that's not gonna cost us, a lot of bags?
I mean, it's and the thing is, this is something that's just been happening for decades. I mean, we always have to overpay free agents because they're like, hey, I don't necessarily want to go to the Raiders, but if they give me this bag, I'll go.
Hell yeah.
And then usually that's when we get a guy that's just going through the motions. He's just here for the bag anyway.
Ending his career or something.
Yeah, and that's how it is. That's why we always have to overpay guys to come here, where, some of the better teams, guys will take a pay cut to get a chance to play for a ring, so. And again. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, and again, it goes back to like how you treat certain guys. Like I know a lot of people were, like I always look back at like how we treat some of the stars, whether it's, Devontae or even like Josh Jacobs, he wasn't a free agent, but like we let him go. Like other stars along the league, they look at that stuff. they talk. They're like, oh, you go to Vegas, something happens, they'll be ready to get rid of you, or they'll be ready to, terminate your contract and not give you all the money you're supposed to get. They'll drag their feet. Agents know that, and not only does it go for players, it goes for coaches too. I'm not sure what's going to happen with, Pete Carroll, his job may be safe for, the next couple years, but it may not, who knows? But any up and coming young coach, their agent's not going to be like, hey, go to Vegas, because, what does Vegas do? They get rid of their coach within the first couple years. They don't even give you a chance to set something up and get your thing going. So, we're in a bad spot, man. We're in a bad spot, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful that, this is just kind of like a learning curve, something that we have to go through before the switch gets turned on and our team starts going in a positive route. But, again, because of our history, I don't see it happening anytime soon. And the only thing I can think to tell the Raider Nation is, just be patient, because that's all we got. That's all we got.
Do. Yeah.
Just be patient. But anyway, so we got that dub on the Titans. It feels good to get a W, but now we go on to a true test, which is the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. I think that hopefully, like I mentioned earlier, that this was the change that our team needed, the spark to actually start the team winning. And if we win in KC, I think we will definitely get that momentum going into the bye week. And
absolutely,
from what I hear, we have a pretty good record in KC. Like, we
do
perform better.
We do
in Arrowhead than we do at home against Kansas City. What are your thoughts on that game, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, in the most recent past, I believe, we have played them better in KC. I believe that's when. Was that the last game that we won? Was it in KC? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was the Christmas game.
Yeah, yep. So, that was a great game. But yeah, the thing is, I just don't think on paper we're as good. I mean, especially from a coaching standpoint, we're definitely not as good. Personnel, we're not as good. And KC, and again, just like I always tell people, people were so excited about KC being 0-2. Oh, they're finally having a year. Like, Andy Reid always figures it out. He always does. So, it's not uncommon for them to start off slow. But now they're starting to hit their stride, and now they're looking like one of the better teams in the NFL, definitely in the AFC. They're healthy. They're starting to put it together. And I'm just hoping that we can fight, in the game Sunday, because this may be one of the games where KC wants to kind of, make a statement. This will be a statement game, against a rival and stuff like that. So we'll see, man. I just hope we come out there, compete. We give them a fight. Of course, I want to win, but realistically speaking, I just don't think we have the weapons to be able to fight with them, but we'll see.
Right. I'm hoping that we can't take this dub by the defensive play that was shown last week.
Yeah.
Obviously our linebacking core, our defensive ends, they've been doing very well. They've been working. Just our DBs, that's the backfield is kind of the scary part. I think if they put enough pressure on Patrick Mahomes, which is what the Eagles showed us in the Super Bowl, disrupt them enough to where he's not comfortable back there, that can help us out. And then obviously Geno not making these horrendous mistakes, not making these interceptions. Yeah. Because he's basically playing for the opposing team.
Oh my God.
The way he's acting out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, with our running game, it's getting better. Obviously our offensive line still has a lot of holes. It still needs a lot of work, but we're kind of, patching it with Band-Aids for now and seeing what works. Thankfully, our special teams is actually coming back to somewhat semblance of what it used to be. You know, but still hurting. You know, I'm just hoping that mistakes aren't what cost us this game. Even if we lose this game, but we show that we're in it, that we're battling with KC, I think it would be a huge win all the way around.
Yeah, you're right. You know, like, you know, losing again, none of us ever want to lose, but you know, it's those you know, self-inflicting you know, losses are what really gets me. Like, you know, like if the better team wins, hey, it happens. It's NFL. Guys are paid millions of dollars. You got Pro Bowlers, Hall of Famers all over the place. But when you like beat yourself, there's nothing worse than that, man. And a lot of times that comes from coaching and just lack of preparation and focus and discipline.
But yeah, that Washington game, man, that was. Yeah. I'm so glad you were on vacation for that.
Oh
one.
my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
You know, that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
that was so embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean the Colts too. That Colts game.
Well,
yeah, it's like why get off the plane, man? You know, why get off the plane if that's how you're gonna show up, man? So it's
it was sickening. Man, and again, it was a lot of these games were obviously self-inflicted wounds by our own team. Yeah, and I think that's what makes it worse.
No, for sure.
What you're mentioning earlier. The opposing team being better than us, okay, they're better than us, but we at least fought. But when we make those mistakes, you know, it's demoralizing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's demoralizing, especially having all this leadership that we picked up in the offseason with the coaching and, you know, like God knows how many, over 100 years of coaching experience. And where is all that, you know? So, but anyway, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here. You know, I definitely want our team to win this Sunday. What do you think we need to do against KC in order to make that a possibility, Chris?
So I think always, you know, when you play Mahomes, you got to be able to get to him with, you know, your 4 front linemen. You can't depend on trying to blitz all the time, because he picks that apart, you know. But you have to get pressure. You got to get pressure on the inside, so the DTs, the Adam Butlers of the world, you know, those guys are going to have to really have a hell of a game. I know Tyree's even been in the middle, you know, he's going to have a career day. But we're going to have to play mistake-free, just good disciplined ball and not beat ourselves, you know, like play good discipline, assignment football, you know, for defense, kind of bend, don't break. You know, you're not going to be able to dominate the Chiefs, but, you know, don't break. You know, try to keep them out of the end zone. Try to keep them, you know, making 3s instead of 7s, you know, stuff like that. On the offensive side of the ball, like you said, we have to protect the ball. We can't give Mahomes the ball more than what he already gets the ball. You know, we cannot be fumbling. We cannot be throwing interceptions and all the stuff like that. And for the love of God, I mean, special teams, do not be a hindrance. You know, we can't get blocks or let long returns and stuff like that. So it's a lot, you know. It's you know, I wish it was just a simple formulation. Yeah, I wish it was a simple formula, but I mean, I guess just be disciplined and don't beat yourself. Make them beat you. Don't help them beat you, you know. So,
and do you think that, or would you recommend that the team be more run heavy, more pass heavy, or a combination?
I mean, I would say be as balanced as possible. You know, make that defense be honest. Make them, you know, try to establish a run first, of course. You know, make those linebackers respect any play action that we do. You know, I heard Brock is practicing. Not sure if he's going to play. It'd be nice to get him back, but you know, I don't think he's 100% for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather get him at 100.
Yeah. That's how I am too. Especially with the bye week coming, it's almost best just to let him rest, whatever. But yeah, I always want to see his balance. But the thing is, you know, we have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. Our guys up front's going to have to block. You know, there was a lot of, even last week, there was misassignments. But again, it didn't look as bad because, you know, we still were able to win the game. But, you know, that Indianapolis game, I mean, it was that line. I mean, they were just misassignments all over the place. You know, guys didn't know who they're supposed to block, guys going the wrong way, stuff like that. So you just have to eliminate all things like that against the Chiefs.
Right. Yeah, man, I'm after last week, you know, getting that dub and feeling the way I am, I'm just hoping that it's error-free or as error-free football.
That's all we want to
the
see.
Raiders can give us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if we win, obviously that's always the goal, you know, for us to win the game. But if not, at least hard-fought game is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
You know, and then just going into the bye week the way we need to go in and, you know, just regroup and come out stronger. And again, with Brock Bowers being injured, you know, I would rather them have him rest up and come back 100% than bring him back sooner and have him re-aggravate something and even lose him for longer during the season. You know, and then all this stuff with Jacoby Myers. I don't know if it's a distraction for the team itself, but I know there's a lot of the Raider Nation talking about that, and you know, I'm so sad to hear that they can't come up with a number that they can both work with, because we need this kid, man. We need him. You know, he is the type of wide receiver that any team would want.
Absolutely.
You know, especially because of his persona, the way he is, the way he carries himself. You know, he's very professional, and you know, he catches balls.
Yeah. But
again, I'm just hoping that everything works out for everybody, and obviously works out for us and gets us that dub against KC, the division rival, because we're 2 down already in our division, right? Because we lost to.
Yeah, we lost to the Chargers, and we already lost to the Chargers.
Have we played anybody else? No, huh? No other division rival?
No. Yeah, we just played the Chargers. Yeah, we haven't played Denver yet. So yeah, just
right.
Chargers.
Yeah, so we're 1 down in the division. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel, Chris. You know, I really don't. I wish I was happier. I wish I was more energized about this season.
It's
you know,
hard, man.
Obviously, I'm a Raider fan through and through. You know, I love the Raiders. I love the Raider Nation. And I think right now that's what's keeping me motivated the most is the Raider Nation.
Yeah.
You know, all these events and the watch parties and, you know, actually going to games and tailgating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's what keeps my energy level up, you know, is being able to take part, being able to do this with you, you know, and interview other members of the Raider Nation. You know, that's because the team isn't just it's not doing it, man. And I don't know how to feel right now.
No, it's definitely tough, man. It's definitely tough.
Yeah, but you know, let's just hope for the best and you know, cheer on our team on Sunday. Are you going to be doing anything special for the game?
No, nothing special, man. Just gonna watch it, man. Hope, you know, just hope for the best. And I know after the game, you know, the War Room, we usually have our show a little bit later on after the game. But I know 805 actually won't be there, so it'll just be myself and Severe. So, you know, we'll be able to kind of give our thoughts and give a good recap. And again, you know, we definitely want to see some good ball, man. At least some clean, disciplined football. That's really all I can ask.
Let's hope, man. You know, I want to try and keep it as positive as possible.
Yeah.
You know, even, you know, kind of like focus on the positivity of our team.
For sure.
You know, but they make it so hard.
They make it
so hard. Jesus Christ. But anyway, all right, Raider Nation. Chris, before we go, let the Raider Nation know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, Chris will Protect the Shield podcast. You know, you guys can always find me on all social media platforms, whether it's you know, IG, TikTok, you know, especially on YouTube, man. So I have my show every Sunday and every Wednesday with the War Room. You know, we making good content, you know, definitely keeping it real, authentic content. Every Wednesday, we actually break down the film from the previous game. So we really enjoy that because, again, you know, a lot of the thoughts that we have, you know, are stemming from, you know, the data that's shown on the film. You know, we do have our opinions about certain things, and a lot of it, you know, maybe how we feel about this or how we feel about that, but a lot of it is strictly what we're seeing on the film. You know, we're not judging what we see right there. What they leave out on the field, that's what we're judging. That's what we're evaluating. And it's just a good show. You know, it's a good show. So definitely check us out.
You know, one thing, Raider Nation, I want to let you guys know is that the show on Sunday for the War Room in comparison to the show on, Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's very two different mindsets.
Yeah, it is.
Because the mindset Sunday, it's very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the mindset on Wednesday, it's very logical.
Yeah.
You know, it's a breakdown. So you definitely see where my brothers here are coming from, feel the emotion and the passion they have for our team. Obviously on Sunday, if it's a good win, then hey, it's a great win. If it's a loss, then hey, it's a loss, but they show their feelings. And then on Wednesday, they do the breakdown. Very amazing breakdown. So
we show you the why. We show you the why we lost,
and that's amazing. Yeah. Chris, any interviews coming up?
No, I got some stuff kind of in the works, but not really solidified as of yet. Cause really right now it's a tough time because, whether it's former players or whatever, a lot of, they're doing stuff, whether it's, with the team, a lot of guys still coaching or other things, but, I definitely have some things lined up cause, that's the part that I really enjoy, kind of talking ball with, ex-players, ex-coaches, stuff like that. So really just trying to work on, get some more stuff solidified so I can give it to you guys and keep creating that fire, authentic.
Yeah. So check them out. Protect the Shield podcast, all social media platforms. Just look for him. He has fire content. Whatever he puts out there, amazing. As for us, Raider Nation, we have a couple of events coming up. Let me see. The first one, I'm doing cigar relaunch, the 57 cigars.
Nice.
With 57 or 50. God, I keep messing that up. But it's Violator cigar. We're gonna have a relaunch of this cigar at Lobo Cigar Lounge in the city of Rialto on our bye week.
Nice.
Check out my social media. Check out Chris' social media. We're promoting it.
Nice.
Like crazy right now. It's gonna be a free event. Raider Nation's invited. Come check out his new cigar. Come hang out. We're gonna have the games there as well. Just have a Raider Nation meetup. And then also the week after, we're gonna have a watch party at Sharky's in Hermosa Beach, which actually the reason why this watch party was set up is because I had taken Chris.
I was about to say that was where we went. Yeah. I like that place too. I like that.
Yeah. I took Chris for his interview for Raider Nation Roll Call.
Yeah.
And that's where I made the link with the manager, and now we're having this watch party. So thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I enjoyed that, man. I wish I lived closer, man. I definitely would want to go to that, man. That's nice.
Man. It's gonna be cool. We got Raider alumni Michael Alexander coming through.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've got some vendors coming through. I don't want to jinx this, but there's probably more alumni coming through. They're not confirmed yet. That's why they're not on the flyer. But
yeah,
there might be some surprises. We're gonna have some raffles going on. It's gonna be a great time.
Nice.
If the Raiders show up, we'll be happy, but if they don't, Raider Nation's still going to be there supporting.
Exactly.
We're going to be doing our thing. And then also, like always, we're going to have Stogie Nation. I have a couple of more episodes. One actually just dropped, the second part of my interview with Violator. And then I have another one popping up with a local cigar company. They're based out of Nicaragua, but they're here in the city of Pasadena. So I interviewed them, went to one of their events, and I have more interviews coming up with Stogie Nation, obviously here, Raider Nation Weekly Bar.
You're killing it. Let's go, Dub.
Hey, man.
Killing it.
If it wasn't, right now, I'm actually kind of slowed down because of the COVID, but, if it wasn't for this, I'd love to do more.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. I want to give you your flowers, man. I know of course, I love the stuff that we do, man, but I just love seeing all the fire content, and I hope Raider Nation continues to support, man, because I want them to understand how hard you work and how passionate you are, man. So, I know, make sure you guys check out all his content, whether it's this channel or whether it's this show or, any of his cigar shows, and go, if you live in the area, man, go check him out, man. He puts on a good party, a good event, and he's a hell of a host, man, and just a hell of a individual and a human being, man. He's my friend for life. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Brother. Yeah, and again, Raider Nation, we do this, to keep you involved in the Raider Nation, because I know our team isn't doing it for us.
It's hard.
So we have to do it for ourselves. We definitely have to do it for ourselves. Just let's be there for each other, Raider Nation, because we all we got. So again, Raider Nation, thank you for being here. See you guys next week. Like, subscribe, follow Protect the Shield podcast, and myself here at YouTube and all the social media. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything out there. But again, Raider Nation, thanks. And don't forget, everything we do is for the nation, by the nation.
Raiders, let's go!